What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Metal Maniacs Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Ingersoll, and I'm here with a Sunday Sultan of Swing.
It's your boy, Mod. What's good,
up, buddy?
dude?
And today we are here with another two-piece, and I'm not talking about a chicken and a biscuit. I'm talking about T.H.V. What's up, boys?
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, we might be a chicken and a biscuit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Depends on who you ask.
Depends on what day it is.
I like a chicken and a biscuit, though.
We got original recipe over here
Yep.
inside of slaw over here.
So,
Wild.
why don't you guys just real quick introduce yourselves, what you do in the band? I know you guys do a lot in the band, but that way people can get acclimated with your voices.
Yeah. Yo, I'm Evan Follmar, also known as Follmar of the Follmar Show. And I represent Team Red with T.H.V. It's kind of the faction that is responsible for ideas, creativity, music, doing stuff. And part of my responsibility with T.H.V. is taking care of the keys, the drums, and the vocals.
Okay.
And it's a lot to do. It's a lot to handle.
It's a lot to watch you do.
Yeah.
And, I just hope I can do it all. Ed?
Yeah. I don't do as much stuff.
That's up for debate.
It is. I'm the blue guy. I'm Ed. And I play guitar and sing when they tell me to sing. I also drink coffee.
Whipped, I noticed. Like it or not.
Riding that whip, bro.
We got here just in time in your brand new whip.
Indeed.
Why do you have a new whip?
Well, because I was T-boned.
Oof.
Yeah, and somebody hit me in a 25 zone, and I flipped all the way over back on my tires.
His car rolled.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
Jesus.
Yep.
In a 25?
In a 25, yeah. They were cruising, and then I noticed that they had continued on and ran into a house. And
Fucking
busted
hell.
their chimney up, and
God, I don't know why I'm laughing, but
Yeah.
that's so wild.
and then I also noticed that the driver's door was open and that they had ran away.
God.
Oh.
And the
Well-
police caught them and took them to jail, and it turns out they were on house arrest. So
They
Yeah,
live-
they took that to a whole new level when they went. They were like, "I'm back in the house now." They almost got me. I'm back in the house. Oh man, well, good thing you're okay, dude. Jesus,
appreciate that.
must have just
Yeah.
happened if you just got the new whip or
About
what?
a month ago.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. That shit's scary, especially when you're a musician, because like. There was talks like I wanted to try jujitsu, and then I heard this podcast where the guy was like, "Hey, you could easily break your finger or hand or something." Like, "Yep, no jujitsu
Yeah.
for me,
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
none for me." It sounds fun, but I'm not breaking a hand or a finger because I need to play my instrument. That's more important than
Yeah.
learning jujitsu. Sorry, but
That's a thing for me, too. Even the most minor of injuries, I'll be like, no, I'm not going to put myself at risk. There's a lot of things I'm shy of in the kitchen. Like, oh, run that
Yeah.
slicer, cut some deli meat.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Mhm.
know.
We just
But
got
yeah.
a new mandolin for
Ooh.
cutting onions, and I'm
Fucking
like,
cut glove.
yep, I'm gonna stick a fork in these onions and keep my
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
fingers away from
yeah,
that.
no
fucking
shit, dude.
Mandolins
But
are
you know,
one of the
you-
most dangerous.
You're a bass player, so you wouldn't really need all your fingers.
No, just one stump. Just a single stump.
Just the two.
Just a forearm.
You guys
Jeez.
slapping on it with your fucking
You guys don't even have a bassist. What do you know about bass? Fucking hell.
Man.
All right, well, tell me a little bit about the inception of the band. Because I was studying you guys' stuff. I listened to your music, so we're gonna go over some of that. But I kind of want to know. Your description says T.H.V. is a multi-instrumental rock duo based in West Michigan that tracks for fans of Zappa, DEVO, Ween, and Clowncore. And then it says the project is a collective brainchild of two instrumentist friends. The name of the group was dubbed pre-pandemic. Since then, we felt it was only necessary to keep the name. So tell me a little bit about how you guys got together and how the group started.
Yes. Thank you, Jay. Well, I was looking for some musicians to play with, and it was really tough for me. So I decided to go it alone and try to just be a one-man band. I heard all these radio songs, all these frequencies coming at me, and I decided I wanted to show people what I could do, and that I could do what they do even better, all by myself. I didn't need a band or anything like that. And it was a humbling experience because it was really tough to do all that sort of stuff. And Ed came in, he saw what I was trying to do, and he was like, I have to break it to you, you do need a band.
I remember it a little differently. We were living together in GR, and I was living in the basement, and also the rehearsal space was in the basement. And I remember just chilling in my room and just hearing like a bunch of instruments all at once. And I could have sworn Evan had friends over to jam with. And all of a sudden I hear, Ed. And I walk in, and it's just you. You've got the guitar strapped to you. You're behind the kit. You're hitting hammer-ons off the keyboard. And you're like, I'm trying to write riffs. And I was like, for one, give me that.
Let me take that off your hands.
Yeah.
And let's simplify this a little bit. And by simplify, you're still doing a lot of number crunching wizardry over there. I still don't know how you do that.
Yeah. Early on, I had the guitar as well. I was very influenced by Nate Wood. And if you don't know him, he's a jazz artist, a jazz drummer, really. And he started doing this one-man project where he plays the bass with the left hand, hammer-ons, and keys with his right hand, drums, and sings all at once. He's got multiple keyboards as well. And God, it was just really inspirational. Another one was, what's his name? Paris Monster,
Josh Dion.
Josh Dion, that's right. Yep. Just another guy who kind of does it all himself. And so, yeah, I was really influenced by those guys. A couple other groups like Clowncore.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally. Coffee burps.
So yeah, Ed heard what I was doing. He was like, "I want to be in your band." So originally, the premise was that I was an alien from this. This is a silly story.
We'll
I
take
don't know
it.
if you're
Yeah,
you're
we'll take
ready
it.
for it.
We're here for it.
Yeah, we're here for it.
I was going to be an alien from this star system called Monoceros, and my planet, my home planet, was or star really was Monoceros 3, and that's where the mythological creature the Monoceros comes from, which is like a giant unicorn. It's like a manly unicorn. And so I was going to wear a unicorn outfit and have like a horn, a great big like wizard hat, and basically just try to show everyone that like I can hear their frequencies coming to me from my planet. So I wanted to come here and show them like how they should be doing it. And then Ed heard that, and he was like, this is a great business plan. We could really market this. And hence T.H.V. was born.
And it became more of a business than a space venture after a while.
Indeed.
Polo shirts got thrown into the mix. I don't know where the colors came from.
Like the red and the blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why we decided that, but it was decided upon.
I think it was more decided upon by the company,
Yeah.
It's
Our
because-
CEOs really want us to stay in uniform and
Stay on brand.
mhm.
That tracks.
Right. It's just like any other company, you have
That's
to look
right.
professional.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
that was their decision.
Yeah,
so-
represent yourself.
And we do represent THV. We work for THV, so not everything is really our decision, but
That's right.
Well, good. If you got some good leadership telling you what to do, then that helps.
It's rare to have a good boss.
Yeah. So, all right. No longer a unicorn, but So you guys' releases here, you started when it says like it was dubbed pre-pandemic. Is that kind of when you guys started then? Because your first demo came out in March 2020. So when did you guys get started? Like 18 or 19? More like 19, something like that?
2019, yeah.
Okay.
Just about.
All right. And then so I've noticed a few things about the demo. Most of the Illusions demo, a lot of those songs, basically all those songs show back up on the full length, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I was kind of confused because of the ampersand, and then it's the actual symbol on the CD.
Yeah, we got a little artsy there.
Yeah, you threw me through a loop on that one, and then the other "So You See" too, because I was like, my brain wasn't computing it at first.
We implored some alternate spelling, some trendiness there.
What did you think it was?
What's that?
So You See.
I thought it was backwards on the album, and it just my brain had to like compute it because you use the UC on the album, right?
Yeah,
and the so UC is spelled out. You know what I mean? I was like, these tricky little guys here. This is some
Sorry.
I was like, this is some unicorn shit right here. But yeah, so you kind of had the Illusions demo in March 2020, right? And then the 6 Feet single came out in January 26, but I just would like to read this real quick. And it kind of tracks with what you were saying, Evan, about it says, so before T.H.V. became a thing, Evan was just beginning to strategize and orchestrate a multi-instrumental solo project where he performed music using a drum kit, keyboard, guitar, and sing all simultaneously. He began to call his project Monosaurus 3. Is that it? Monosaurus?
Monosaurus 3, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's not a dinosaur. It's a... Yeah, and it says, 6 Feet was one of Evan's tunes written originally for that project, minus lyrics. Since forming T.H.V., we once thought to include it in our in-process full-length, when then we decided to release it as a single as it stands out among the handful of newer material. So here we are. Please enjoy 6 Feet, which I did. It was a cool song, but that was kind of just mostly all you then, right? On that.
I hardly remember.
Fretless Bass by Ed Stanley.
Yes.
Yes.
I did overdub some of that.
Yeah, that's right. It was really more of an experiment for me anyway. And lyrically speaking, it came about as a result of the pandemic. And
yeah, we were knee deep, balls deep in it right about then. Fuck.
And
Yeah.
6 Feet, that's all you heard.
Yeah.
And in some cases, feeling like that isolation, it kind of brought you into feeling like you were 6 feet under sometimes.
Amen. Even with having a family at home, we'd still retreat to our own quarters and just you'd get enough of each other every day.
Totally.
It's just, okay, I got to go to the basement.
So with that though, the demo was both of you guys' project, right? That came out, and then you just kind of released that song. Was it kind of just sitting on a hard drive or something somewhere?
The Illusions EP was more intentional. This is what we wanted to play out as this duo.
Okay.
So we started writing those tunes with the intent of gigging out that year, which did not happen because of those circumstances. And but we rolled it out anyways. We put out the EP. We recorded that down in that basement, all ourselves. Evan tracked both his keys and his drums first, and then I threw down guitar. We did vocals later. We got a little too artsy with a lot of those vocal effects. We had mixed reviews as to how those vocals were sounding and received. So we decided to ditch the heavy effects. It was just really scoopy and ring moddy.
Yeah, that was kind of an artifact of the original Monosaurus 3 project where I was trying to fill up the sound completely by myself. So I had this chorus effect on my voice to give it more of and I think some different intervals in there too or something. I don't know. Just to give it more unicorn vibes.
Yeah. that makes sense.
Unicorn feels.
And then you guys did a live studio version of So You See. That was released March 28, 2021.
That was really fun to do, actually. We went and met up with our homie Will Juno.
Okay, yeah. Dude in Flex, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Yep.
One of those boys. And he has a house studio. Probably still does. I'm not sure if he's still doing like live stuff, but like he had like the similar thing where you can just like go in, and he also captured us visually with like, and his brother Lou did like live visuals on the fly while we performed up in that attic, and that's where that song was recorded.
So that single, that was just by itself, just a live version. Is that the only one that you guys did? Was just that track? Was that just to get something out? Or
we actually played through a majority of what is on the self-titled album, but that one was just one that, like, I guess, like, was pretty. It was a good take.
Okay.
So we decided to share that one.
And then, so usually when I'm studying bands and I'm going through their catalog, I'll usually start at the very beginning and go through like chronologically so I can kind of see the growth throughout. With you guys, I did it a little different because you guys' material is mostly on Bandcamp, right? Are you guys on any streaming services?
We are. We just share more on Bandcamp because it's got a little bit more freedom to like post whatever you want instead of like fighting through the algorithms or the limitations of the other streaming services.
Mm-hmm. I love on Bandcamp though because you guys have like lyrics, explanations of like what you guys did to record it and all that, and that's why I really like you guys' Bandcamp. It looks cool. It's all set up. We listen to a lot of music on this show, and you go to people's Bandcamp, and it's just like there are a few words and then their song, and it's like at least you guys took the time to let me get more of you and understand more of your band, and I really appreciate that.
We appreciate you reading through,
especially on this show when we're trying to like study bands and get as much information as we can so we can get some feedback. But I did start on like the T.H.V, the actual full, we call that like the full length basically, right? The full LP, whatever you want to call it. That was released November 4th, 2022. I really enjoyed the record. I thought it was great. Like fun. I liked how you guys kind of keep it silly and quirky at times, but it's also very catchy. Mm-hmm. Like if you guys were just all over the place with a bunch of different parts and then like, you didn't bring anything back for me to kind of sing along with by the end of the song or bring a riff back or bring a beat or a keyboard part back, it would probably just go right over my head. But I love the fact that like it's technical, it's a little quirky, but at the same time, by the end of the song, you're like, I can jam to this. I can feel this. I can sing this. And I think that's really cool how you guys did that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We really did our market research.
Consumer input validated.
Yeah. By that time, we really had we had already recorded the Illusions EP, and those songs traveled into that album as well. And by that time, we kind of had like even a better idea of how we wanted to flush those out. They're way more solid. We already had other songs that we wanted to do around that time in our heads, which we got to spit out on that album. And even today when we're performing those songs, like those songs are still evolving and we're not really like playing them the same.
Yeah, that's part of the fun really is, you go with the flow, and if an idea comes to you, usually Ed picks up on, if I have an idea, he'll kind of pick up on it and on the fly. I don't know how he does that, but, and same with me. So
the chemistry, like we're really good at improvising a whole bunch. We've actually released other stuff apart from T.H.V in the past that has been like completely improvisational, and we're also in another improv group, God's Mom's Dog, where we recorded our full length. We are also working on flushing out a few releases for God's Mom's Dog at the same studio, River City Studios in GR.
Okay. Cool.
And that's a heavy metal project, much more heavy metal than what we have going on with T.H.V. Actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk to your market developer in the office, you would know that I'm probably not your typical customer avatar. But you guys did capture me, so you do got a new fan here. Like, so I mean, great record. I jammed it. I was fucking jamming it. I was working out. I was like, this is fucking cool, man. Ampersand, that's a great song to me. Really stuck out. Like I said, he pulled a fast one on me because when I first listened to this and I seen the symbol, I was like, I don't know what that symbol's even called, but I'm like, at first I called it and because that's how you see it. And then when I went back and went over the Illusions demo, I was like, oh, Ampersand. I was like, this is the only song that's not on the full length. And I was like, no, I'm a fucking dumbass. That's what that thing's called. So they just pulled the fast one. I thought I found something out about your band, but you just tricked me. That's all.
Bing bong.
Maybe we should have named the song "And."
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well,
or ampersand with just capital A-N-D on the end. Yeah. No, maybe. I don't know. I'm just trying to
just spitballing here, just trying to be part of
customer feedback here.
We'll bring it up at the next company meeting.
Can you put that in the feedback box?
Put it in the suggestion box.
Yeah, suggestion box. And then Get Scared, man, that was a really cool song. Stuck out to me. Very
Thank
cool.
you.
And then Rock and Roll, that was a great rock and roll song. So those were the songs that really kind of stuck out to me. And I enjoyed the record through and through, man. I thought it was fucking awesome. We did listen to one song when we did the review episode. So it's kind of funny because we listened to the one song. Plus, we have the small little interview we did at the Hard on Your Sleeve Fest, but that thing was hard to hear, and it's really hard to like kind of dial down and like hear what you guys were saying, and but so we got to talk to you guys a little bit. We did go over that, and at first I was, it's not like metal, but it's rock, and I feel like just because we say we're an extreme metal podcast, like I feel like you guys' music is like extreme in a way.
Yeah, watching you guys do your thing is extreme for me. Like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, Evan's got all the instruments in his hand, and Ed, you go from holding it down as a guitarist singer to just I'm gonna go off now on just some zany, kind of guitar solo or
look at my shoes.
Yeah, and it's technical.
Yeah.
It's like it takes a lot to do what you guys do. So I mean, you guys hold your own when it comes to like any kind of extreme music because you kind of think of that more as almost a precise and technical endeavor where what you guys do has to be that. I know you guys do a little jamming, but at the same time you have to be proficient at your respected instruments or multi-instruments to really hold that down. So I do feel like you hold a place among that. Maybe it's not grindcore and all that, but it doesn't have to be that. I mean, you guys write cool songs.
We really appreciate you holding bandwidth for us here on this heavy metal podcast of yours. We aren't going to be the heaviest thing that people will find from your podcast, but we're really appreciative to be here. Yeah,
it's good. It's good music, and I think that metalheads like good music outside of metal, and I think that you guys rock hard enough where people will appreciate it. I mean, it's not going to be for everybody. Not everything is for everybody. Yeah. I mean, certainly. And you guys are kind of coming out of left field, but I think enough metalheads that want to hear something different outside of your standard metal, they're gonna gravitate toward this. At least give it a chance. I know Tommy from Dies found out about you guys and absolutely loved you guys instantly. And just a huge fan.
Everything that band does, and that dude was so fucking cool.
Yeah,
fucking me.
He's such a nice guy. Shit. Yeah, so I mean, you're gonna find metalheads that are gonna want to listen to you guys, and you might not fall into a metal bracket, but I compare you to something similar to like a Tool or a Mastodon, where they might not be considered metal, and you guys don't sound like those bands per se, but nobody's really calling those bands exclusively metal, but people gravitate toward them anyways because of the good music, good songwriting. So
it still bites.
Yeah,
they're like cousins.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. As long as they're not kissing.
Yeah. No, no, that's the wrong podcast, bro. No, I mean, and you guys are awesome guys, so we definitely wanted to have you on the show. Great musicians, great guys. So I mean, you have a spot here anytime you guys want to come through and talk about whatever. So as we move on with your catalog, we got Rock and Roll, the Blue Department remix.
Hey-o.
So was that the boss's idea, or
I went rogue with that. I didn't get any clearance. I didn't run by any of the higher ups. I just kind of went and did it, and I pitched it at a business meeting, and they said, "What have you done?"
Oh my God, what have you done?
Yeah, this one is clearly not heavy metal.
No, it's a little groovy. I had fun with some AI that can just like I went rogue and I wanted the stems but couldn't like mix it very proper. But AI can take any song and rip the stems itself. And so I was just experimenting with that and just wanted something to do in the meantime. I think we were just like playing a bunch of shows and we weren't really like practicing a whole bunch together, but like on our own terms. And like I just wanted something to do, so I just threw that on there. And
We really love to make content, all
Yes.
kinds of different stuff.
It's been a minute since we've done any content. In fact, none of our content from before, like when we were like trying to do stuff for like YouTube and stuff, we didn't even have the colors yet. So it's just like just us bullshitting in the basement and just I don't know.
Standing around the water cooler.
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I
We
noticed
had-
that. Oh, go ahead, buddy.
I'm sorry.
No, you're
You
good.
just jogged my memory. We toss so many ideas at each other all the time, and one of the ideas was to like, once we have like, I'm gonna invest in an in-ear monitoring system pretty soon, because when we play, an important thing for both of us is that we just want to not have to like wish and hope that we're gonna be able to hear ourselves
Yeah.
and each other and just have like, a consistent mix wherever we go. But if we do that, it's going to be on stage, and a good way to like kind of like, blend it into the aesthetic of T.H.V is to like design it like a water cooler or something. I don't know.
That's cool as
Or to
hell.
like,
That'd be
or like a
sweet.
filing cabinet.
Just wheel it in with a two-wheeler.
Yeah.
Can we hide Evan behind like an entire desk so you don't even see a drum
No
kit? It's just a
drums.
cubicle. It's just a fucking cubicle.
Yep.
We've
some-
thought
some
about
plants,
these things.
Maybe a ficus.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
But yeah, that's kind of
gross.
more of a remix, right? I felt there was more like kind of electronic elements going on in there, almost like maybe his live drums were replaced a little bit with more of the kind of like production almost, like
Correct.
produced. Yeah.
I did rip his drums out of there. I kept his bass line that he's walking on in there. I duplicated his voice a couple of times, talking about him like he's not sitting in front of me.
He's like, "You did what?"
I did some things to you while you weren't looking.
I would take this to HR immediately, bro.
It's like, what am I even here for?
Thought this was my band.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Hijacked.
yeah, just
It
having
just
fun with
goes
stuff.
to show you too how AI is really taking over the workplace.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is true.
Because
They're replaceable, man.
very, very replaceable.
We had a
I
couple
never
people
thought I would
who
say that.
were upset that our album art was AI generated, which it is. And so we also had like a satirical idea. We're always throwing these ideas at each other, but like we could like apologize publicly and be like, "Hey, sorry about the last album. This next album is going to have some real art, but then just all the songs be AI generated instead."
There's this. I was messing with my son the other day. There's this site. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but Duncan Trussell, I heard him on a podcast using it, and you can literally type in any song that you want in any style, and in 2 seconds the song comes up and it sounds good. Like I was showing Easton it, and he wanted a Godzilla versus King Kong song, and we did a heavy metal, death metal one that was King Kong versus Godzilla themed, a rap one, and they all sound great. They're mixed really well. The lyrics are about King Kong versus Godzilla, but I was like, this shit slams, man. Like, this is fucking, like,
Dude, it's
like,
getting
we're in trouble, man.
yeah, it's getting really scary.
It's time to get scared.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with Obscurist Vinyl at all?
No.
It's a guy who's putting out AI classics. So everything's modeled after like old 50s and 60s records and stuff. But the song lyrics and criteria is just off the wall. Like you'd think like if someone sang these songs back then, you'd go straight to jail.
Oh, yeah.
Classics like I'd really like to get in your pants because I just shit in mine. Obscurest vinyl on Spotify.
I'm going to have to check that out. Just that song at least. So moving on here, we got just content released September 3rd, 2023. I listened to it and I was just like, kind of, what's going on here? And then I realized it says these instrumentals were made for no reason other than for fun and were later used in our YouTube and Instagram content as background filler. And I was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense now because there was like no vocals or anything on there. It was just kind of like some jammy stuff or just some stuff going on. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Those were all spliced from previous improvs that
Okay.
Evan and I just were jamming on, and I just went back and like took certain things, looped them a little bit. I used to call them loops because I was literally like splicing them and looping them or whatever, but they didn't just infinitely loop. They still changed, so I just called them content.
Okay, that makes sense. And then you guys did, it looks like the last release that you have then is the live on 10/28/23. It was released November 21st, 2023. And this was one of the songs that we listened to off of, I think it was, is it the song?
The Big Idea,
Yeah,
I
The
think
Big Idea. Yep, that's the one. And it said, perform live at Epic Tabletop Hobbies in Grand Haven, Michigan. So tell me a little bit about that and how that idea came about.
So Zach Kraus offered his services to get bands or just to get like some local music going in Grand Haven, and he pretty much like had bands like Bog Wizard and who did we play with? Underbelly. Just come through, just small bands to try to get a scene going out there in Grand Haven. I don't think Epic Tabletop is open anymore,
That's
unfortunately. So, but I think for the time that it was there, Zach was doing some great stuff. He was not only engineering and mixing on the fly, but he was also able to provide each band with recordings to take home to do whatever we would want.
Yeah, really great quality too, I thought.
Yeah.
He did a fantastic job. Although it was interesting because it was right at Halloween. And so we went in assuming this is going to be a costume party, It's a Halloween party. It's Epic Tabletop Games, Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
So Ed and I got dressed up in our costumes, and my fiance got dressed just completely, went all in, And we get there, and nobody's dressed up at all. And we were like, okay. So Ed and I had these masks on that we wore, and so if you listen to the record and our voices sound muddy and like kind of muffled, it's because we were wearing masks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it turned out all right.
Think so.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, man. I went and listened to it. Like I said, we listened to the one song off of there, and then when I ran it through it, this was the last thing that I actually ran through. I thought it sounded really good too, just for like being a live experience and kind of like a jam. And obviously if it's at Epic Tabletop Hobbies, the room wasn't set up for recording as far as sound proofing and all that kind of stuff, so
Mixing that, which Zach, he usually mixes everything before he sends it to bands, but he actually had his hands in like a bunch of projects at the time. So he actually just sent me the stems, and then I mixed it, and then I just threw a master on it, which mixing that was kind of neat because there were noises that my guitar and amp were doing, and that I wasn't too sure of how it would transpire by the time that I got the stems, but because I got the stems instead of just mixes, I was able to kind of have a little bit more freedom to like edit some of that stuff out, and I had to do some touch-ups here and there, but it's not entirely an authentic live listen, but I after some doctoring, it still kind of has that live vibe to it. I don't think it's too fake. I think. Yeah.
AI can only do so much.
Haven't replaced us yet.
You know.
As far as I'm aware.
There's only 4 songs you can listen to off of that on the Bandcamp.
Yep.
But if one were to purchase that, you'd actually get to listen to the entire performance, which is like 13, 14 tracks long.
Oh, nice.
Hidden
So
files.
if one wanted to do that, you'd actually get more than you bargained for.
More content.
More
So-
content.
We're telling you here at the Metal Maniacs Podcast, go purchase that right now.
Bing bong.
All right, so tell me a little bit about, like, what does the name stand for? You
Mhm.
kind of touched on it at the beginning, but, like, how did that come about? Like,
Yeah, that is a great question, and it's a question that we get asked all the time.
All the time, I'm sure.
We usually tell people it means a myriad of things, because we later realized that via Wikipedia that there are many meanings to the acronym. So we don't
That's
even
right.
we don't even know.
so you can just
anymore.
Well-
make it up. You can make something up new every time you get asked.
People usually do.
Yeah, and a lot of times people ask, "Is that an acronym? Does that stand for something?"
Yeah.
And I say, "Yeah, yes, it does."
Shrouded in mystery.
Yep, shrouded in mystery.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I mean, how did you come up with it?
So, I came up with it because I wanted. This was an idea of mine, like a long time ago. Evan's looking at me like I'm about to like give it away, but I'm not.
Ed had a vision for the future.
Okay.
long ass time ago. I had like a list of like band names that I would like that I considered like, this would be a cool band name, and one of them was like, oh yeah, you could name this band this because it would be it would be scary to put this online.
Mm.
That's a big hinto.
Okay.
And I decided to pitch it to Evan if we named the band that, but since it would have been kind of weary if we named it spelled out that we abbreviate it instead so that we could kind of like slip it in safely.
Okay.
And
before the AI overlords shut you down.
Yeah.
yeah,
Or they figure everything out.
and you know, it's funny because a lot of that stuff kind of, you know, it works well for what the actual meaning of T.H.V is.
Zip your lips, Ed.
All right.
So is this something like one day you guys will reveal, like Slipknot with the masks?
Oh, dude.
One day you'll finally put it out there.
Well,
or is it
actually-
just going to be a mystery among the two of you. And
Truth be told, there are ways to figure it out.
Okay.
And some of our
Cool.
biggest fans have already figured it out.
Okay.
And they are very respectfully keeping their lips zipped. Take a sip of coffee.
I feel like lives are in jeopardy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what kind of corporation you guys are working for, but Jesus Christ, man.
Well, I'll give you a hint. It has a lot to do with the red and the blue.
Makes sense.
Indeed.
Makes complete sense. I'm clear as day now.
Oh, man.
All right, so tell me a little bit about the writing process. Sounds like you guys do a lot of jamming and stuff, huh?
We, what makes like jamming with Evan so much fun is that like
We're both drummers.
we're both drummers. We're both county motherfuckers. Sorry. And because of that, we're able to just kind of like latch to one another when we're improvising and just trying to come up with ideas, whatever feels good. And if it, you know, we'll have those moments where it's just like, stop. That was cool. Let's try to fucking do that again. and just try to like put more intent with like the good ideas, and shoots. It's been working out. We have we're sitting on currently like 5 or 6 brand new tunes, 2 of which are in the live 1028, which is a big idea, and you can hear another one if you purchase it, called Something About the Party, and
That's right. Yeah, and we're really we're trying to branch out with our sound quite a bit, and get into the improv stuff a lot more, and also maybe like the noise stuff. We really like that.
Evan keeps adding like more stuff to his red department. Like he's got a microkorg that's just velcroed to his synth that does like the craziest noises. That is just crazy.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
It's
just crazy.
It's like when we come up with like song ideas and like, well, lyrics. Let's talk about lyrics.
Yeah.
When we're writing songs, I'll want to come up with like a melody, but I'll come up with like bullshit lyrics, like working lyrics, just to like find like how I want like syllabically to like, say something or sing something. And some of those working lyrics actually became like mainstay lyrics because Evan peer pressured me into like saying, no, that's how that goes now.
You said what you said.
I did.
Yeah.
Stick to it.
Yeah. So that's how I like to do stuff became I like to do stuff, because it's the only thing that like came to my head, and he was just like, where did you come up with that?
Well, it's a stroke of genius, because you're going to find that many people like to do stuff.
Yeah.
It probably resonates worldwide.
It does.
So,
Indeed, and no one likes to do stuff more than you and I.
That's right.
let's do a lot of stuff.
So with you playing so many different instruments, Evan, would you just jam something on the drums or maybe have a keyboard part? Is that kind of where you start? Say you're just kind of chilling by yourself, like kind of coming up with something, be like, hey, I want to show this to Ed, or like vice versa. You have a guitar part, Ed, that you're like, oh, this would work perfect for T.H.V. because I know you guys do other projects too, you know? So it's like, what does that process look like for you as far as just bringing ideas to the table? Or do you guys just get in the same room, turn the shit on, and just start fucking around? Like,
rarely ever do. I feel it, yeah, we do a lot of that, you know, just improv.
okay.
But that usually just stays as an improv, I think. Early on, what was happening was I was taking a lot of different stickings, you know, or drum rudiments and stuff like that, and just really simply applying it to the keyboard as though it was a drum. And I would first start out, okay, here's the ride cymbal pattern that I want to play. And then now I'm just going to play a button on the keys, you know,
okay,
here's a button.
yeah.
And then I would be able to say, well, now I have 5 fingers over here, so I can play the same thing and create a melody with it. So that became a really easy way for me to create riffs, because I still feel like I'm just playing the drums. And I'm just playing a few different drums with my fingers.
Small drum set.
Yeah. And then, yeah, honestly, the other way that I've approached writing has been actually just sitting down at a keyboard and coming up with something. And then that's the scary way, because then I get this whole song written sometimes, and then I go, okay, now I have to be able to drum to this.
Yeah.
And that requires some practice and some figuring out. And especially when Ed brings a song to the table, that's the same process I have to go through, except then I have to come up with a keyboard part and a drum part.
Mm.
And
So it's frustrating when Blue Department's doing their job.
yeah,
Kind of gets in the way of Red, it looks like. Makes the job harder on Red.
we do have a synergy, you know.
Well, that's good.
But Ed came up with a song, a really cool riff that he says he wrote really just for me to be able to play on the keys. Another one. is the name of the song.
Okay.
And of course, it is a mathematical conundrum that he came up with. And he's like, I thought this would be easy for you to play.
Thanks.
And I still can hardly play it to this day.
I'm sorry, and I think you're doing wonderfully.
Yeah, so he's got his riff. There's like 5 notes: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
But it's all in 4/4.
It's in 4/4.
It's all in
okay.
4/5.
Okay.
4/4.
Oh yeah, I think Ed
Just
gets
the 5
Ed maybe gets
carries
easy
over.
and fun confused a little bit. Like
so
I
it
think
fits into that 4/4.
Nick knows.
Yeah.
Nick has tablature that he wrote down as I'm like trying to like go note by note back when another metal project of mine was nearing
a sense of fruition. Perhaps.
yeah, perhaps it was getting to the point where I was like strategizing how to like build that. That was a project that was also going to potentially include Cody Vickers from Phantom
Oh yeah,
on drums.
very familiar.
But he became very busy in the Phantom department, which I'm in full support of because
Amen. Me too.
those boys rip.
Yeah, they do.
But back then, I'd spend some time over at your home and
times.
go over those tunes. So you know how fuck nutty I like to write stuff.
Oh boy, it took a lot of bandwidth to just sit there and learn those songs. Good God.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I love them. I
I'm
enjoyed
like
it.
this.
It made me like a better musician in ways. Just
Hey,
I'm not a classically trained musician. So when you start throwing like 7/8 and 7/4 at me, like I got to sit there and really work. I got to just blue collar all day that shit because it does not come naturally to me. I have to count it and then I have to play it like 1,000 times to even begin to develop a sense of, oh, this is natural because it's fucking unnatural. Like it's just it's just like so it makes me curious like do you start out with a little 4/4 and embellish it, or are you just that's the way your brain ticks? Like you're going 7/4 all day in your head.
you know, I'm feeling it in like, you know, a common meter usually, but I'm just like you know, it could
Welcome
just,
to the mind
you know,
of Ed.
Yeah. It's like
Somebody
that.
slap Ed, bring him back. It's just
Clear.
Well, he's got
He's
a
broken.
he's got a new song
So,
written
like,
for you guys.
It's just, you know, I feel it in a common meter most times than most, but like it's just the syncopations and the divisions and the space between all the notes that I think make it groovy and worthwhile and unique
yeah.
and fun.
Yeah, if you can capture the complexity of your guys' rhythms and make it catchy, I think you're onto something. Because just 4/4 all day long on the floor gets a little old. I think you know, then you do turn into Weezer, and then how much of that do you need in your life?
All of it.
Yeah, there's some funky time signatures in the T.H.V. stuff where it's like you're kind of jamming along, and then all of a sudden it's like the record skips, and you're like, okay, that's cool, and then it does it again, and you're like, okay, I'm used to that now. But the first time you're just like, oh, okay, they just skipped 4 notes and then went into the next part, and I was like, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah. I think you sort of start to think in 7.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
right. Yeah, for sure.
It's a lot to think about.
Hardwired.
Yeah, I've done a lot of technical music in my day, especially just weird timings on purpose. you
Y'all
know,
sounded
and-
great on Friday, by the
Oh,
way.
thanks, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I hate to put it out there, but that was probably one of the more rough performances we've done. I'll tell you about it more after the show, but
All right.
uh,
It was Mulligan's.
but thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the production, because you guys have kind of looks like you did some production yourself. You've went a few different studios. You said River City was one of them, correct? And then you
We
did a
recorded
little
the
live
full-
thing with Zach. So tell me a little bit about production and kind of what that looks like going forward too, especially if you're adding more stuff, Evan. Like, are you guys going to try to do everything in house? Because I know you do a lot of recording and production yourself too, right, Ed? So
I do. Whenever I can. Life's been cool.
Busy.
Is that what you say during the review, your performance review?
New song lyrics.
My job has been
My
cool.
CEO. Yeah, my you guys,
Sales, by the way. I've noticed that you're definitely in the sales department because you keep bringing up that. So
purchase. Purchase.
That's going to look real good in the performance review after they hear
Way
this.
cool. Just whenever I can, I like to just keep myself active and music. And what am I trying to fucking say before
Production.
I even fucking
Yeah,
say it?
production,
recording,
engineering.
mixing.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to like keep it fresh in the brain, and also even if I'm to go collaborate with other producers and engineers, I want to keep that stuff fresh in the brain, just to like kind of know how to like how to work with them better, because there's like a whole psychology that goes with like working with engineers as an artist, and how like thinking like them could potentially like either hurry the process or make it more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Engineers are a different breed, for sure.
Yes. A different slice of bread. Yeah.
We love to engineer our own projects, and there's always a little something to be desired in terms of like, I wish we knew a little bit more about this or that EQ or compression, and stuff. But we love to capture the raw feeling of it, which can be hard, if you're working with someone who just, they don't maybe quite understand what you're going for.
You're right. Yeah.
But we have had quite a bit of luck, and I've had a lot of great experiences working with my engineer at River City, Austin Roosterfer, who I first met him when I went to River City to record my jazz fusion album, which is like an hour-long, all-original, kind of progressive jazz tunes. And he did a fantastic job with that, so I've just been working with him ever since.
I love that album.
So that's kind of your go-to. That's who you maybe see yourself working with in the future mostly, or you're just kind of open to different ideas, or?
We're definitely open to many things, but he's been a great collaborator.
Yeah.
And he's got his own project, too, that I play the drums for as well.
Okay.
So we're friends.
He's got his hands in like many, many projects. He also goes on the road and like comes back and it's like, I just, just worked this fest. And like he'd just like name A-lister after A-lister after A-lister that he like ran sound for or moved gear for, and it's like, man, busy dude.
Yeah.
But we love Austin. And I only met Zach that night that we went to, or no, I met him at Skeletones once upon a time. It wasn't for one of our shows. I think I was there to like see the Burdens, or no, that was Tongue Cutter. I went and saw Tongue Cutter when they were a duo. The one and only performance as a duo, I think.
That's right.
Must have been when Chantel first started, huh?
I think so.
Yeah, it
and,
was the girl drummer then.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And I met Chantal for the first time, but I think I met Zach there because he was there for Underbelly or Violet Scum, who I think played that same show with, and linked up with him. I said, like, I hear you're throwing like shows at a tabletop store. I got to know what that's all about.
Yeah, what's this countertop store all about?
Let's get Coyote Ugly in here. Let's go.
We were driving here, and what did you see?
You guys might know something about this. It was perplexing. It seems to be a business right down there in Fruitport called Two Men and a Countertop.
Wolf. Yeah.
Just one.
I've seen the truck. That's all I know.
Well, we don't have to go into that too deep.
Yeah, that's all I know. I haven't
Sounds
seen
like
the
a-
video. I just seen the truck.
There's a video.
Yeah.
With a countertop.
If you purchase the T.H.V. EP, it comes with this video.
I don't endorse that at all. I'm not sure what these two guys are doing.
CEO
Not
is
these
going
two guys.
rogue.
Some
Not
other
these
two
two guys.
No.
Yeah, that's
not
not
those two guys.
yeah,
Not these
this,
two guys. Some other two guys.
We're there. It's two different guys who like to do stuff.
yeah,
not in
with
this room.
countertops.
Yeah,
Yeah, we drove by and I was like, shit, they took all the good ideas.
Yep. Bring that one back to marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about your practice schedule.
That's kind of been these days mostly on our own turf, apart from one another. We'll get together like once a week whenever we can, and
Still pretty good. A once a week clip is good.
yeah,
Yeah, that's fair with wives, lives, and families and
Mm-hmm.
and you know,
jobs and
sometimes it's a rehearsal. Sometimes it's just hey pal, let's be pals for a sec and like check in with one another, and got to keep that healthy. And you know, life is cool. I'll keep saying it. It's just like, you know,
Don't upset Red Department.
I'm man,
Cool blue over here.
I'm so like,
You're busy, right?
yeah. So I'm getting married.
There it is.
In a couple of months here.
Can't
So
wait.
that's been supplying lots of usage of my bandwidth. I am just trying to get all of that in order. I got a lot of family in California making their way out, so I got to like keep my head in the logistics of how to organize that and make sure everyone is you know, not bored. I got to like take some time off of work here pretty
save
soon.
up that PTO. Make sure you
So-
run it by the top office.
Yeah,
Oh,
Evan,
you know.
are you taking notes on what Ed's going through right now? Are you like kind of watching?
He's gonna,
and, like,
yeah,
Note taking is blue department.
yeah. I'll take your notes for you.
Yeah, just pass them off when it's time for
Live and learn.
I will say
for
it's-
next year.
It's like it's one day of your life. I think people pull their hair out over it unnecessarily. Like, I mean, I don't know who it means more to, you or your soon-to-be wife Crystal, but like it is one day of your life, and you don't want to like throw the bank account away over it, or like, you know, watch your hair go gray or white over it. I mean, just kind of reel it back in and just decide to have fun, which you guys are really good at in your band. So just kind of take that same mentality to your day.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, I mean, like, you know, when you go Groomzilla or Bridezilla, like, it's just kind of like, what the hell am I doing? Because the day after, you're
It's
just
done.
You got a couple pieces
Yeah.
of cake left, and
Yeah.
hopefully some cool gifts from your friends.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, is there a registry?
Yes.
Make sure I have that, because my wife was just asking me. I made up my mind what I'm getting you before like any registry business came to mind. So you're getting what you're getting, damn it, and you'll like it.
I will.
Good thing you brought up 2 men and a countertop.
Here we are. Oh man.
Comes full circle.
Yes. I Beetlejuiced it.
All right. I see you guys got some shows coming up. I can't guarantee this is going to be out by the time you do them, but I do love talking about shows and what shows you guys got coming up, you know, just to throw it out there, because you guys have to see you guys live. You guys capture awesome music on CD or whatever you decide to listen to your music on, streaming. But seeing you guys actually perform it live is a whole nother beast, and I think it's a must-see experience. So tell us a little bit about the shows. I see Runoff on June 23rd.
Yes.
Kalamazoo. Is that someone's house?
That is Garrett's house.
Yeah.
Garrett is one of two men in the band Bronson Arm.
Okay. Very
they-
familiar with those.
They are a powerhouse duo and a force to be reckoned with. So reckon yourselves to check them out too. We're really stoked for that show, opening up for an out-of-town act known as Sex Specs. So definitely excited for that. Also, Acid Youth is on that, and Terry Chamato.
Say that 3 times fast.
Yes, please. Looking forward to the Stray. Our friends, well, soon to be friends for me, friends of Evan's, Moon Goons is sharing that bill with us, along with Spike the Media from Muskegon, I believe. And yeah, the Stray is a neat place. I hear they got some good coffee.
Love coffee. Say less.
Is that kind of what it is? A coffee shop then,
do-
or like a something like that? Or?
Yeah, they have beer. I think as well. Maybe wine. I'm not sure.
You're gonna treat it like a tiny desk performance. You're gonna scale it back a little.
Oh, dude.
No, we're kicking the doors down.
Yes.
Awesome.
We've tossed around the idea of maybe doing like an unplugged version of T.H.V. One day. Don't know how to logistic that yet.
Well, some employers will make you work with the power out, so you might as well get used to that idea.
Dude.
If the power goes out, you stand there in the brownout and do what you can.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to haul in that grand piano, the acoustic drum set, and the acoustic
baby
guitar.
grand.
Push it. That's what two guys in a truck is for. They'll move the piano for you.
This unplugged business is for some strong-hearted dudes, you know.
Oh God.
I forgot when it was, but like you were out of town, I think. You and Rachel like went on a road trip. You went to go like see fam across the country, and I picked up Devlin was trying to like book something because I guess some bands dropped off of a bill.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I opted in to play an acoustic set, and I played some T.H.V. tunes on an acoustic guitar.
I don't know how you managed that.
I don't know. I didn't run it by corporate. I just kind of went and did it.
Went rogue.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't been fired.
Yeah, I
to
was
be
gonna
honest.
say
No.
you're putting a lot out there for HR to take in.
Yeah, I think they know that like there's a lot to be demanded out of the blue department, and I don't know. I think I have I think I've solidified my my residency.
There you go. Your tenure.
That's right.
So them are the only two shows right now. When
For
when
the
are you
summer.
getting married?
And then August is
Okay.
is
So
the wedding.
that's kind of like not
Af-
playing in July type thing because a
Gonna-
lot going on.
Gonna take a tacit. I did it for my lady's sake, just to kind of like let her know that I'm gonna be with it. I'm gonna have the bandwidth, to make sure these things are gonna be good.
Yeah.
Trying to be a lot more mindful of like not just myself. It's been like a long time coming, actually. I used to be very less mindful of people around me.
I think we can say that all as musicians because it means so much to us. Because I'm the same way, not only just with a podcast, with a band. I'm like, yeah, let's play that show. Let's play that show. And the next thing you know, every Saturday in June's booked. And I'm like, yeah, I only wanted to play once a month, but here I'm just saying yes all the time because I just want to fucking go play music. Or I'm down in the basement jamming new riffs or whatever. And I'm like, yeah.
Who doesn't want to play shows every week? And it sounds
that's
like
what I'm
fun.
saying. Like, it's like, yeah, you have to be mindful of that. And it's no offense to your family or your wives or nothing, but it's just like, almost as a musician, you're like that because you just love it so much that you just kind of feed off of that.
Yeah,
you know? So
totally.
I can totally relate to that, man. Where it's
Case in point, like somebody just asked if I could do the Alice in Chains thing. We don't even have a drummer yet, but they asked if we could do it, and we said, well, maybe an acoustic thing. And I just off the cuff, I was like, yeah, let's just do an acoustic bit. Like, why not? And then I just thought nothing more of it. It's the end of the night. And I say, I'm laying in bed with my wife, and I say, oh, by the way, somebody asked us, a fairly big name around this area too, said, hey, do you guys want to do the show? And I showed my wife, and she's like, yeah, that's the date of Ed's wedding. So to your point, Ed, like I totally like get where like the selfish vibe comes in because I was just like, yeah, 8/17? That sounds like a good day for me to do a show. Like, let's do it. And then my wife just knew, like, you have more important shit going on that day, and I did, oh fuck, and I get on the messenger, and I'm like, hey, by the way, that's definitely a hard no for me on that, as it were. I'm a groomsman in a wedding that day, so I said, you guys have my blessing. The two of you can go out. Maybe it'd make more sense, even like two singers and an acoustic guitar, and maybe reel us in a drummer out of the blue. But I can't make it. That's going to be a definite no for me. Yeah. So whatever you two decide, I'm cool with. But yeah, like that's how absorbed you get in your musician world, right? You're like, if I see a Saturday and I don't have anything, like it probably was in my calendar and I didn't check. It's just 2 months out. I'm like, it's fine.
Like, I don't have anything going on because I only know what's happening next week, barely.
In the moment of things too, it's like you don't know until like you like reel it back, You know, it's fine. Like, also, I'm sorry.
No, don't. Man. Well, I don't want you to feel any kind of way about it. I'm actually really geeked to go to your wedding. I mean,
Hell yeah, dude. And
if I had a full band, I still would be more geeked about your wedding. So
I
don't worry
got
about
2 of 4 of my groomsmen's.
Nice.
For her.
Awesome.
Appreciate you, boys.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, man.
Same thing with Throne. We scheduled Throne, this band that we really love. They're from Detroit
area.
like, really badass, like death metal band, like one of the best to do it in this state. I mean, these guys are top tier, top notch. Everything about them is badass. And so we booked them for the show. I've been wanting to get them on the show, so I booked a date, and then comes up and they're like, "Hey, that's Mother's Day." And we're like, all right, so we rescheduled, and I gave him some dates, and we picked a date, and I get a note thing from Nate last night. He's like, "Hey, dude, we keep scheduling these on holidays." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, 6/16's Father's Day," and I'm like, "Oh fuck me, dude!" Like, I'm just scheduling shit willy nilly. Oh. 12:25. I'm free. Let's do a podcast.
Yeah, right. Yeah, nothing going on that day. Who cares? And I even messaged Jay the other day regarding that. I was like, yeah.
I didn't realize that was Father's Day, so
I
guess we're not doing it that day. So your day freed up.
Okay, all right.
We'll talk more about that.
I was
going
to say it's Father's Day. Do whatever I want.
Yeah,
that's about me that day.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
People.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Like, no big deal off my, sweat off my back, but it is what it is. I'll get my number 1 dad socks, and then I can do the podcast.
Oh man, we are wonderful people.
Musicians, self-absorbed. That's what you're learning today. All right, so tell me a little bit about. You guys plan on like doing any touring or anything like that, or what do you guys think about that? Like, as far as like, because I definitely want to know the future of T.H.V. and what's next. Well, I know we kind of got it tight out. I know you're a busy man today. You got some traveling to do, but we got a couple more minutes to talk about some more T.H.V. stuff. So tell me a little bit about that. What's in store? You think maybe some touring might be something you guys would like to do, or?
We would love to tour. We actually have our first out of town show booked, I believe, at this really cool place in Indiana called Healer.
Oh yeah.
And it is like an amazing art installation, to be honest. Like, you walk in and you're like, did I just enter a parallel dimension?
Whoa.
It's going to be a good one.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, our first out of town show, and we would love to do some touring. And we're trying to make that happen.
Yeah.
It's definitely in the cards for like next year.
Yeah.
To look at that a little more crucially. Definitely something we would love to do. The more and more we play these songs, like I said, like they're always ever changing and stuff, but we just keep making it like work for us in the moment, and we're just getting so comfortable with our tunage that it's definitely in the cards for next year sometime. Nothing solidified yet, but we'd love to make that happen for sure.
Like some weekend runs, or maybe like a week-long, 2-week-long venture. What do you think you
something
could
like
pull
that?
off?
Yeah, a week. I'm sure we'd be able to like pull off, no prob.
That'd be a dream come true for me. Absolutely.
Nice. And the nice thing is, with 2 dudes in the band, you can put. I'm sure you could just load it all in like whatever your SUV.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is front 2 seats, throw the merch and everything, have it all in one. You literally take one car. You don't need a trailer for all this extra shit, like 5 dudes in a band in a trailer and all this shit. Like 2 dudes. So that's what makes it kind of nice, the 2-piece.
No countertop.
Chicken and a biscuit. No countertop, no. But yeah, that kind of makes it a little more convenient,
We've done it before. It all fits. We've tested it, and the executive CEOs have okayed it, and I'm sorry.
It really is a great business model. Having two band members just makes things easy.
It doesn't work without the polo shirts and the name tags.
Yeah. I've asked other bands, Rip Van Ripper, they're a 3-piece band, and I've asked Addison he was on, why only a 2-piece or 3-piece? And they're just like, fuck that. Like, it's kind of, once you got that chemistry and you can pull it off with 2 people and everything's working fine, it's always hard to bring that other member in, or either mess up that chemistry, or then it's just one more dickhead you got to worry about in the band, or if you can get along or hang out or whatever. That's always a problem too. It's
For
like,
sure.
yeah, this dude's a great musician, but I can't fucking hang out with him.
Paul
Fucking
Jensen
insufferable.
said it the best, I think.
Yeah.
Drummer of Tiny Tree, he had like the best words for it. He was just like something to the notion of you don't want to fucking herd sheep.
Yeah.
You just wanna like make a phone call and get a yes and say we're doing it.
Yeah, we're jamming.
The bane of my existence has been, I feel like I constantly need a 5-piece band. Like, I just don't know how else I want to do it. Like, I need 2 guitars at all times, and I got to play my instrument. Maybe one of those guys could sing as a permanent vocalist, but rare is it that you find a vocalist who, as an instrumentalist, who is so good at singing and playing at the same time that it's the end result that you're looking for.
That was my conundrum with Earth Snake, totally.
Yeah, when you were bouncing it off of me, I'm like, this is easily a 4 to 5-piece band. There's no way around this shit. Like, especially as complicated as the music was, I was like, you need a vocalist who is also an instrumentalist who decides not to play an instrument because they just need so much musical understanding to sing along to this material. Like, they need to be able to count. Like, they need to be able to understand changes. It's not just 4 on the floor, I sing. You need a vocalist who's a good musician, I think, who's just willing to say, for this band, I set my instrument down and I sing for you because that's all I can really do.
I sing for
like
you.
The opposite of T.H.V. It's like, let's focus on one thing at a time here, And that's really actually the conundrum that I'm in with my band that I have with my fiance, Rachel, who is a singer. And it's a heavy metal project, but it's also very like folky and acoustic. Okay. And so we've been trying to make it work as a duo, and we were writing all these songs, and it's like, boy, this sounds really great as a duo. This sounds really great. And then we get to this part, and it's like, we need a band for this.
Yep.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Just the 2 of us. So we're like looking for band members. And she's also the singer in the project that Ed mentioned that Ed is in as well, called God's Mom's Dog.
Okay.
Where we just improvise like progressive heavy metal. And and our buddy Jeff Lomden plays bass in that project, and we kind of just go all over the map. We get funky at times, kind of get soft, and then hit real hard with some heavy screaming and double bass and stuff. So
nice.
Yeah,
looking forward to that. Any timeline when that would be something that anybody could listen to or see live, or is it just something that's kind of in the works right now?
Definitely probably be able to catch us live before any recordings surface. We're still in the mixing and splicing phase. We're working on that with Austin Restafor at River City.
Okay,
and that also has its handful of ideas for release as well. We're talking about like possibly dividing it into separate releases, because we did one huge session where we just kind of let it all loose, and we didn't go in with any prepared material. We're an entirely improvisational band, and everything got laid down, but there's a slew of it, and we want to see how far we can like span it with like different releases perhaps. And
we found the right members for that group. I don't think we could do it with anyone else really.
No,
what we've come up with for that. But yeah, it's so hard to like find the right band members, and that's why I'm so glad that I get to play with Ed, because it just works so well, and
likewise
way better than doing it by myself.
Right. Yeah, and you guys' music being what it is, it's not your typical everyday music, so you have to be very open to playing some different kind of music together, you know, and creating this soundscape together that makes sense for the both of you, you know, because you have to enjoy what you're doing too, you know. So
That's right.
it can't just be like, this is what Evan wants to do, and he's just dragging you along, kind of like you said. You can't herd sheep, so like your input is just as important as now as it has become, since it started off with you, kind of, you know, your idea. But
We're
no,
both
it's
very
just-
motivated, and we both like a lot of like the similar shit, like not just metal.
Yeah.
We like to get heavy, but we also like stuff that's kind of quirky,
Mhm.
very Zappa. It wasn't until we started playing out that people started to drop the DEVO bomb on us, and I was like, shit, I guess I gotta listen to some more DEVO, I guess. And I did, and I'm glad I did, because it's weird. I've actually found myself paralleling a lot of DEVO things unintentionally. Like I'm trying out fastening an effects pedal to my guitar so I can have like a little bit more ergonomic reach with like turning knobs
Yeah.
on it and stuff, and
Well,
you know,
it's less than
bypassing
Velcro
it.
on it.
And
He's
that's
got it.
Yep,
He's got the Velcro.
I do. It's all over my guitar right now. But I looked up photos of the guitarist from DEVO. He's got like 3 of the motherfuckers all over his guitar, and I'm just like, not even trying.
Right,
But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's so weird.
That guitar's got to weigh a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's got the massive, like, big muff sized fucking. It's just a clunky looking, ugly contraption that he's
Is that still
fastened.
playable? Like,
Then he's just got
bunch of fucking foot pedals in the way.
just the fucking.
I gotta find some
wear
footy.
right there where the strap is, just holding his fucking shoulder down right there.
Big
Yeah.
Popeye forearm.
Yeah. All right, so I got a couple more questions for you guys before we wrap it up.
Okay.
What's your favorite part of being in T.H.V. and what's your favorite part of just doing music in general? It's kind of a 2-part question.
Ed, you want to go first?
I can go first. My favorite thing about T.H.V. has been playing live for sure. This is the most I've been like musically actively gigging. It was something I really wanted to do with Earthsnake for a long time, and it just wasn't in the cards at the time, and I'm just glad that it finally is for me now, to just kind of like, you know, truly feel like music is in my life, you know, because I'm nearing 3 years of sobriety.
Congratulations.
Very
Thank
good.
you. And that's from alcohol. I'm Cali sober, as they say. And back then, it was a harsh realization for me to like feel like people know me less for having a musical instrument in my hand and more so for having like a pint of something.
Right.
It was just, and that was like the thing that kind of made me want to make some changes for the better health.
Yeah.
And not just physically but mentally, and has allowed me to feel a little more more than satisfactory in like having less of an imposter syndrome when I'm saying like, oh yeah, I do music things, but all I'm doing is just doing this and that, you
Yeah.
know. And
I'm proud of you.
hey, I couldn't
I'm
have
proud of you too, man.
I could not have I could not ask for a better support system at home, when I'm at rehearsal, when I'm just anywhere in good company. Thank you, my lovely love, Crystal.
Yeah. She's awesome. She is awesome.
And just it playing gigs. Sorry, I got really quiet in here when your air turned off. But playing shows has been like my favorite thing about
Hell yeah.
playing with T.H.V.
How
How about you?
Yeah, my favorite thing, I have 2 favorite things. One is constructing these songs with Ed and realizing just how well we work together when we're writing songs and coming up with stuff that I never thought I would ever come up with. I always wanted to come up with stuff like this. Like, for instance, our lyric, I like to do stuff. That is the epitome of lyrical content for me. And I'm so thrilled that, we are able to get on stage, set up all this stuff, do all this stuff all at the same time while simultaneously singing about doing stuff.
I like it.
The other thing that I really enjoy is having so much stuff to do so that I'm not bored. Because I'm a professional musician. I've been playing drums for ages. And a lot of the time, just to be honest, drumming is just not enough for me, So I get a little bored sometimes, but I never get bored with T.H.V.
Nice.
So, Ed, I wanted to comment on both your guys' answers. Ed, I've only known sober Ed ever. I never met the Ed from before.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, so just so you know, people are going to be meeting you, and they're not even going to think that you're anybody else other than what you're offering currently. And anybody who's given up any substances, they're obviously in better shape for it. So just stay the course there. I think you're totally lovable, sober. No imposter syndrome needed. You just as immediate as it comes to your brain, just toss it right back out, because the work you're doing, musically is way better than, who you were before. I would say, right? You're being more productive, you're being way more healthy, and ever since the moment I met you, it's just been this guy's fun, this guy's nice, he's just easygoing to be around. So. Stay with that. The sobriety's working for you. Yeah, the sobriety's working for you, brother. You're good.
Agreed.
And then, Evan, I have to relate to your sentiment when you're collaborating with somebody and it clicks. It's just something special, because you can sit in your room and write, all day long, just sun up to sundown. You can just write music, but you get in the room with your boy and they give you that feedback, like that, yes to that, stop, do that again. My turn. And then there's just magic in the room. And yeah, I think I love both your guys' answers to the question, because I relate to them. And I'm the only one in the room not able to currently get on a stage. It's fine. It's fine. I kind of made choices in life, and I want to get back to it, but it also has to be right when you're talking about members and personalities. I don't need the most talented people in the world. I just need the right personalities to gel with me.
Congrats on graduating your culinary
that was
experience.
one life choice. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it took a lot of bandwidth and energy and time. So I love cooking. I love whipping it up. Man, I just made some tacos the other night. I call myself Chef Google. I just I just pull up. I don't invent stuff in the kitchen. I'm not that guy entirely. Sometimes I do, but I just made some bomb ass tacos the other night.
That's a lot more than a lot of people, and thanks for inviting me, fucker.
Hell yeah.
I love tacos. But congrats on the 3 years, man. That's cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't know where I'm at. I never really took the conscious decision just to be I don't drink anymore. I just one day I was I'm not drinking anymore, and it's probably been 5 years or something. It wasn't
way cool, dude.
But also not. It was never that thing where it was. I did drink for a while every single day, and that started to become an issue, going through 3/5 of Crown Royal, a week or whatever, because I would just drink every day.
Yeah.
But at some point, I was just I can't keep losing all these days, because the older you get, and I'm getting older, I'm losing full days the next day because I'm out drinking until 2, 3 in the morning, and the whole day is fucked. And I'm just I'm too productive of a person to do that. But I know what it takes, especially if something has a vice on you. So very good job with that. I don't think people get enough credit, because we live in a world where you more get the question, "Oh, you're not drinking? Oh, you don't drink?" It's I'll go somewhere and everybody will be drinking, and they're "You don't drink?" And I'm just no, I don't drink.
You don't to have fun?
Yeah. It's can't that be the new normal? Being normal?
My biggest hang up
feeling
with
good,
drinking,
feeling sober, you know?
Yeah.
I look at myself the next day, and not only the physical depletion of it, but it's oh, I fucking said that. Oh my God.
Bingo.
I fucking said that, and I did that. Oh my God. So not to say that I've entirely written off drinking, but I have a whole new approach to it these days. It's usually 2 or 3 out with my wife, or in the house, just chilling in the house where nobody has to hear me. But yeah, because I didn't have I don't suffer from alcoholism or anything, thankfully, but I definitely suffer from diarrhea of the mouth. And like you get a couple of drinks in me and loose lips sink ships, man. I'm telling you, I just ruin the party sometimes. So
we've been there.
Yeah,
I know I have.
Yes.
Oh man.
so
Stay in the house, Nick.
yeah. Sit down and shut up. I'm only allowed to talk on the podcast.
No, just stay in the house with your alcohol. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
actually
for real.
kind of curious. Maybe we should get a couple drinks in you right now.
I mean,
Find out what comes out.
oh God.
He's just like, fuck your wedding, Ed. I don't give a fuck.
Cost me a show for a band that's incomplete, goddamn it.
2-piece? I said I need 5 pieces. All right, so what's next for you boys? What's next for the T.H.V machine, the corporate entity that it is?
We're wanting to put number 2 out on a record, and
Number 2, when you say that, full length?
another
I want to
full.
make sure we're clear when you say number 2.
Could be a full length. It could be an EP. It could be a split if we wanted to like split it with another band that holds us near and dear. We're open to suggestions, really.
Yeah, I would say if we get a couple more songs written, we could have a full length. At this point, I think we have an EP. And my biggest focus, I think, is going to be honestly getting like a really good sounding live album with a video so that people can see
That's a
what
big
we're
part of it.
doing.
Yeah, it's a big part of your guys' act. Art,
Yeah,
I should say.
and possibly even getting on some kind of big, radio station like that. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like KEXP or there's a few different ones, but shoot, what was that that performance from, what was it, Meth?
That was Auditory.
Auditory is, yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Another
would
one,
be-
Auditory.
That would be amazing to hop on. Actually,
Yeah, Meth,
Yep.
they're pretty big, or they're getting bigger, I should say.
they were just in town. I really wanted to go see them. I think that was a See You Next Tuesday bill.
Yeah,
Okay.
they toured with them.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
They're
band.
a large group. They're like a 6-piece.
Mm.
And they just got one dude who I'm just a really big fan of, who just has like this lap steel that sits on this desk that like folds over, and then there's like a keyboard underneath, and he's just making like the scariest noises ever.
Yeah, everything about that band is just tension. There's like no release. It's just the whole time is just like this weird, like,
Yeah.
like that's what it is. It's like the whole time. It's like it's not what you think it is, but it's everything you think it is with a band named Meth. Like, it's just this weird ride. I listened to it once because I've heard a lot about the Mouthful of Locusts. Those guys from Kalamazoo.
Yes.
They were talking about them. Maybe Perry was talking about them.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. You want to ask your final question, Nick? I know, Evan, you're on a timeline, but I do want to put this invite out there. When you guys get something new, you want to come on, listen to something on the show, you get a little more time. You guys are invited back anytime to hang out, fucking talk about your stuff. Get
We'd
it
love
out
to.
There. So,
Hell yeah.
open invite. Like I said, it's no big deal. You guys aren't like extreme metal, but I'm hoping some other people can find your band through this podcast.
Thank you.
I know there's been a lot of bands that we've listened to, a lot of bands. I've had a few people tell me in person, like, I was turned on to this band and this band from your podcast, so that's why I love
Cool.
listening to it. So hopefully that does the same for you guys, and we
Absolutely.
keep getting bigger and bigger. So, open invite before we ask your
Yeah.
last question. Anytime you guys want something to promote, whatever it is, just want to come hang out or whatever. So,
The support is
Yeah.
mutual. Thank you for having us on the podcast.
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Mod's got his one final question, and I know you got to go, my brother. Anything you want to say, what you doing today? Can you tell us?
Plans have changed a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He actually has some free time now. So no rush.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's good. I mean, no rush is
Well,
good.
we'll still keep it. We'll still keep it to the word of what we said. So, because I could ask you a bunch more questions, but that's all right.
Yeah. I like to ask the musicians that come on the show what they're listening to. So if you guys want to hit us with what's good in your world to turn your fans on to the inner workings, what inspires you, why don't you each hit us with a heavy, wild, zany, and then also something chill, something that we can decompress to.
Wild, zany, and chill. So wild would probably be. I wanted to get in like a metal mood before I hopped on the podcast. I actually went back and listened to the Cleansing from Suicide Silence just to kind of give me a good palate. And man,
The OG.
I miss Mitch Lucker. He had quite a repertoire of like anti-child abuse, like lyricism that's just like being a father figure and stuff. And like that dude was like a family oriented dude and just I don't know, he just seemed like someone who you'd want to like have on your side. Totally. I regret not being able to know that guy personally.
Yeah, it seems like he needed somebody on his side, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I say that with love.
As far as it was wild, you wanted
Just two, like a heavy and
sure,
a chill.
and a chill.
Yeah.
Shoots. I listened to this. I've been listening to this electronic artist for years. He's in the UK. His name is Aaron Munson, but he goes by the name Ilke. And a lot of his stuff sounds like my buddy Cam had like the best verbiage for it, which was sounds like if you could like look under a microscope and see all these microbial things. That's just kind of like if you could hear them, this is what it would sound like. Just like this really busy tiny metropolis sounding music. Ilke, he's got a large discography on Bandcamp. That's ILKAE, and real groovy stuff. He also has his hand with like other artists out there that may or may not be in the UK, probably around the world. He's also designed a lot of video game music as well.
Nice.
So he's a composer in many avenue and facets. And it's chill. So I definitely give that a whirl if that's the avenue you are leaning towards.
Yeah, always looking for something new to chill out to. I got worlds of heavy music, so more chill tunes always welcome.
It's a good palate cleanser. How about you, Evan?
Yeah, actually, speaking of video game music, one of my favorite artists is composing for a video game, I believe. Tigran Hamasyan.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, who is a jazz metal hybrid kind of thing, very progressive. I actually just saw them in Chicago with my fiance, and we were standing from you and me away from his piano. I could have reached out and tapped him on the shoulder.
Nice.
His drummer, Arthur Natek, I believe is how you say that. So mind-blowing. Like, his album Mock Root is so heavy metal influenced. It would be worth checking out, I think, for you guys.
Nice.
Piano driven, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
But polyrhythms and some incredible grooves and yeah.
Agreed.
I've been digging him. Baroness.
Oh,
okay.
Good stuff. Yeah.
I don't know why, but I always come back to Baroness when I'm in the mood for some poppy, heavy, hard rock, metal, whatever you want to say.
They just played.
Yeah,
They did. I missed them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
A couple days ago.
and the Ed showed me this crazy group called Strobes,
Oh, yeah.
which just blew my mind. And
They're like three
unfortunately-
dudes. One of them plays guitar, and then we'll break away and like do like some crazy like synth stuff that's either noisy or just riffy as hell. Really tight drummer, another keyboard player, and they're just like, they just are locked in.
Yeah,
And
I'm all about polyrhythms.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's just called Strobes.
I believe so.
Cool.
Yes, the album is called Broke Speak.
Okay.
And yeah, very, very county, very techy, but smooth. Like it's just how locked in. I can't emphasize it enough. Like they are counting beats people aren't hearing. I don't know how to really describe it except for like they got their divisions on lock.
Yeah, usually what I'll do is I always listen to the podcast that comes out, like the day it comes out, just to kind of review the questions and see if I can do anything better. Usually by the time we get to the end and we get to this question and it comes back up and you guys, the musicians, recommend something, then after the podcast is over, I'll just start going through the people's catalog because I'll be at like work or whatever. So like I've discovered a lot of cool music off of this. Just other people on this show, just stuff that I would never come across. So
I need
That's
to get
way cool.
why I like the question, because there's a lot of cool bands I've discovered, and whether it be chill shit or just stuff I've never heard before.
Yeah, I need to get like a whole compendium file of all these answers. Like I type them up and then
It'd make a good episode.
Yeah, come back to it after like a year of doing this question. It just became a staple along the way, I guess, somehow unintentionally, and then Jay just started mod with your question. Like, so I appreciate it.
I like it because there's so many things out there. It's hard to get exposed to new music because it's almost information overload. If you're just looking for something, it's hard to really stumble. I mean, you can stumble across things, because it'll be like recommended artists, but more of a direct question when you're like, hey, check this out. Most of that stuff is things that I've never really heard before, so it'd be a great start. And we always say this too, like that's why we always ask for chill, because I listen to a lot more than just death metal. You know what I mean? I'm not just a death metal, black metal guy. That's what I lean towards a lot. But after 2 albums of death metal, I need something else for like a day or two. So it's just not all death metal for me.
Glad
also,
to hear that. We would have some questions for you.
You okay?
The churches down the road still stand.
For now.
Shit.
I definitely think asking the question helps get outside of your own algorithm, like out of your own bubble. If I just search on my computer for things, I'm only going to get like a limited amount of feedback. But if I ask you, like I've never even heard most of these names. I know Suicide Silence and Baroness. So like I have something else to type into my computer for the algorithm to grow and get some feedback.
Yeah, and it's attached to like people and
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm more apt to take that recommendation than just the next song on Sirius Satellite. So
I'm genuinely, I can't say the word, so we'll just skip that. I am very curious to know, since we're not on a super tight timeline, I'll let you guys go here in a minute, but like we talked about music kind of being self-absorbed, and you guys are so into music, you love music, like we love music, you're just always creating, you're always doing stuff, right? So what, you got some hobbies outside of music, actually? I'm just curious as okay, right? That's fine. I don't have many besides like family time, riding my bike, going for walks, lifting weights. I mean, other than that, like occasionally I might be able to sneak in a video game, but I just can't commit. So I just didn't. I was wondering, is there anything else you do? I know time is fucking tight with jobs, families, all that. But
I've been thankful for just an occasional hour or so of just like my buddy actually gifted me his old Xbox because he got the new Xbox. So I been playing some Game Pass whenever I can. Game called Sea of Stars is actually scratching my RPG itch right now. That just sparingly. I try not to get too overhauled with it because I used to get sucked in. Into
easy
the hole.
to do.
And moderation has been a real key these days. Shoots. If I'm not doing music, I'm usually like racking the brain on just like other content ideas. I don't know. A lot of it does come back to the music. It's fun.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, personally, like I said, I'm a professional musician, so I'm teaching drums during the day. I'm gigging with several bands. Like last night, it was a jazz gig at Harmony Brewing, which was fantastic. We're doing that once a month. I'm also playing with kind of a R&B pop group, original stuff called Molly, and we're playing at Frederick Meyer Gardens next month.
Awesome.
So I have a heavy metal group with my fiance. I have T.H.V. Doing the jazz thing, and music has been keeping me way more than busy.
Okay.
So
That's fair.
I try to go for a run and do some yoga every day.
Okay.
There you go. Those are good things.
Yeah.
Yep.
For real.
That's enough to clear your head off the music. But I mean, if you love music,
My only concern,
it's a tough love, man.
Yeah, my only concern is a level of burnout. You know, do you feel that ever coming on with all of the music that you got going on day in and day out, Evan?
Yeah, it's been a problem. Yeah, it's hard to find inspiration to do more music, which I really want to do. I want to practice more, and
I think the enough yoga and meditation style, in your life will help you find your way to what music you want to do, like what the mood is. Just kind of be in tune with the music you should putting your energy into.
This is the longest time
Yeah.
I've seen Evan just like sit
Not
still
music.
because he's usually just like doing stuff.
Doing stuff.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
That's. Go ahead, Nick.
I was just gonna say I respect the hell out of it. I wish I had that much ambition. Also, I mean, I can't afford myself the time. I got the wife, I got the kid, I've got school and or work. I would love to go back to the pandemic, and instead of be grinding legendary armor on Guild Wars 2, I would have liked to have been getting into a studio mindset and learning how to operate a DAW and get better at my craft. But that's not the way I spent that year and a half, and it is what it is now. But I do wish I had that level of ambition, and I'd like to get back to it at some point. But it is what it is. I respect the hustle, though. I'd say keep grinding while your love is for that life.
Mm-hmm. And you got the time, energy, and
Yeah, yeah. If you can afford
motivation
it,
to do it.
yeah, do it. We're here for it.
Well, with all that being said, is there anything else you guys would like to share about T.H.V? Anything you want to say to?
We are selling merch at our shows.
Can you order that
So buy
stuff?
that. You can also find a lot of things to listen to on our Bandcamp, which is thvmusic.bandcamp.com. I hooked you boys up.
Oh, man, thanks for the care package, man. Like I said, I would be more than happy to pay for these items as well. This is what I specifically asked for because I needed some fucking new sunglasses.
Some shades. Block
Hell
them
yeah.
haters.
yeah, and
I like to do stuff.
Fucking A. Looks good on you.
yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Really 3D.
Oh man,
Hey.
that's the next venture.
That's what he told me
Yeah.
on Friday. He's like, I need to get some 3D glasses.
Dude.
No way this was made with AI.
It was. It totally was. And it actually started with artwork that I made,
that's fucking
but then I
I
just
fucking love it.
I threw it in an AI filter, and it just completely distorted the fuck out of it. And it's like, how am I to say no
So-
to that?
Real quick, while we do have time, I have opinions on AI, and
love it.
they're like both sides of the argument. And since you guys are a DIY effort, you're indie artists, you're underground, no label, no money coming in, just whoever throws a couple dollars at you for what you're selling, right? But it's not like you have the money to be giving to artists to make art for you. I mean,
Well,
it's an expenditure. Like you could spend a lot of money
We've
on some
done-
art.
we have thrown some money at artwork. Our main logo that's on your T-shirts was made by Doran.
Okay.
He's done just like logos for bands in the past. I was looking for something circular for all the social handles. He served it up and
nice.
whipped it up, and
Was that?
that's that one.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's cool as fuck.
Yep, it's simple. He took it upon himself to add the Wi-Fi symbol to it,
Like that.
Yeah.
and he did not know at the time what T.H.V means.
Nor
But-
will he.
He actually is one of the few who actually cracked the
Oh,
codes.
okay.
So,
I was hoping I would get the answer by putting these glasses on, but it didn't work.
like it's like written in the corner.
Yeah, just like, when I look up at the sun in the inside, and I'm like, oh, there it is.
The right angle.
If you buy the shit, you'll find out.
That's
but
right.
you got to go buy the shit first.
That was actually really one of the main reasons we did choose to use an AI for our artwork. It's not because we can't do it ourselves or whatever, but it does fit the theme of the band, and that's kind of what we were going for.
Mhm.
So, it's not that we're huge proponents of AI.
Large
anything.
hints, everyone.
I'll be listening
Big
back.
ones.
I'm going to figure it out.
So yeah. One more thing I would say is that we are a business, and we are looking for more people to get involved with our business.
More consumers.
More consumers, but also more employees.
Yeah,
More,
hiring.
more departments.
More departments.
Cool.
Anyone who wants to get involved.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like necessarily doing the similar stuff as us, but maybe stuff in parallel, and we need parallel departments. A green department has been highly suggested. We'll cross that bridge if we get there.
Yeah, and
More variants.
anyone looking for work has a job for T.H.V.
There you go.
Nice.
Does it pay well?
That would be up to each individual and how much work and effort they're
Yeah.
able and willing to put in.
Put in, yeah.
What exactly they need? Yeah.
This
I
is
hear
called
The more work they're
yeah.
willing to put in, the less it's
Yeah, I mean, we pay on performance here at the T.H.V.
There it is.
Corporation,
Yep.
so that makes sense, All right, fellas. Well, I just want to thank you so much for taking the drive, come
Yeah.
out here and being
Thank
on the
you.
podcast, man.
Yeah.
You guys
This was
are
a
fucking
blast.
Awesome. You guys are awesome.
That
It
was
was cool
so
to actually
fun.
sit down and not have to scream over whatever else was going on, but it was cool to actually sit and get to know you dudes a little bit more and know your
Yeah.
music, and we appreciate your time here. And with that being said,
Thank you for including us into the realm of metal
Yeah,
listeners.
they're gonna like
Yeah.
it.
And hope y'all check us out.
yep, buy some
And-
shit. Thanks for the swag, dudes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that.
And thanks for
And,
doing what you guys do.
Oh,
Yes, thank you.
Thanks
Means
for
a
coming
lot.
out. Yeah.
All right. With that being said, keep it metal. Peace.
Evan.
Thank you so much for checking out the episode. Be sure to hit that like button and give us a share.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed our podcast today, please give it a rating on your streaming service to help us gain some exposure.
And if you really enjoyed the show, please give us a follow or hit that subscribe button and come hang out with us every week. And remember, keep it metal.